Right, legends. Can everybody hear me? Let's have an audio visual check. We got the great David Bell on today. It might be might be a surprise today. It might just go bullish, who knows. Um, but can you guys confirm for me, please? Is it working? Loud and clear. Okay, so I'm going to do the introduction. I'll bring David Bell on straight away, and then I'll do my part. Okay. So welcome once again for Bitcoin for Legends live weekly stream. Before we start, just wanted to say thanks to our partners and sponsors of the stream, PrimeXBT, for making this happen. You can check them out on their Twitter at PrimeXBT. And if you want to support the stream, and if you want these to continue, then use the link in the description. And then you go to your account. Once you've signed up, it's free. You can use a VPN, I think, as well. And you go to the account section, type in promo code TraderSZ. Then if you make a deposit after, then you can get up to 7k deposit bonus. Okay, so it supports the streams. It tells Prime you guys want these to continue. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so one thing finally, nothing in this video constitutes financial advice. You should always seek the help of a financial professional. So before we continue, like the video, share it, blah. And in the meantime, I'm going to bring David Bell on. David, is your screen able to share? Are you able to share screen? I made you presenter. I think you're muted, mate. Yeah, there we are. Wait. Can you guys confirm if you guys can hear David Bell? Remove that part. I've got your idea. No, I can hear you. I'm just asking if they can hear you because I'm bringing you on now. Can't hear him. They can't hear you. Desktop audio. Is it my section? No, it's a bit of a delay. Yeah, so I can hear you, so they should be able to hear you, but I think it's from my side. Yo, nice, that desktop audio thing, man. He's just Yeti, hang on, speakers, Yeti. Okay, try speaking now, mate.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Okay, it's going on the OBS thing, so let's see if it works now. About 5-10 seconds. Okay, they can hear you, mate. Take it away.
All right, perfect. Hi guys, cheers for that, Saeed, for the introduction there. I'm probably going to shock you this time, and I'm going to say that I'm not as bearish as possible. I haven't seen what Bitcoin's done already since we've started speaking, but I think what's happened sort of more recently is the market's been reacting less so necessarily on Fed day or just pre-Fed, but more on the inflation print and then more afterwards. So I think we're in a little bit of a sort of middling period now between today and Wednesday, whereby I do actually think we're going to push a little bit higher. We've had a bit of a sell-off, and I'm actually on the wrong chart here. I'll go back to that one in a sec when I'm explaining my longer term thoughts. But if we go to December euro dollars, and if we move this over here, zoom in a little bit. Okay. So what we're currently seeing with euro dollars is last week when we saw that inflation number, and that inflation number, like, people are going fucking ridiculous over it because they think that, you know, it was only 0.1% month on month, blah, 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 blah. But the problem is that it's not showing a deceleration. Okay. It's not showing significant enough of a deceleration. Now, I think what tells the story best is by looking at the December meeting. Okay. And then saying to ourselves, where is the Fed most likely going to end up in terms of interest rates? And what that's signifying is that they're going to end up at 425 to 450 basis points, which is 4.5%. Okay. Where we are currently is naturally 2.5%. So we're looking to go a full 2% into the end of the year. Now, just think to yourselves where we've come from so far. We've come from, 0% interest rates, but 0% interest rates without quantitative tightening. Okay. So just have a little pause yourself and think what that means for things like liquidity. And liquidity at the end of the day is what matters specifically across all assets, but, risk assets especially. So my thoughts, sort of short, mid, longer term is midterm into the end of the year, it's not looking very good. Shorter term, maybe for the rest of this week, we get a bit of a bullishness back into 20K, maybe up to 20 and a half. Might be surprised by that considering the Fed meeting's coming up. But I do largely think that the market understands what will happen. And currently the 100 basis points is only priced at 18% for Wednesday's meeting. So a hike of 100 basis points is only currently 18%. Now, it has increased on the day because University of Michigan data was released earlier. And it was, I think, it was below 20% before, priced back up to 20% after that. And now it's just slightly below again at 18% odds for 100 basis points on Wednesday. But 75 basis points is pretty much baked in. And it has been pretty much baked in since the CPI number just last week. So I'm not really shitting myself in the short term. But I think perhaps to the end of this week, we may start to see it tail off again. And I've got Eurodollars here. This is the December contract, so it's reflecting the odds that are shown here on the FedWatch tool. I've got Eurodollars, and you can see that it's kind of like flattening off a little bit. It is flattening off after that big decline. And this decline here is really why I think that it's priced for Wednesday's meeting. It's very, very sensitive to inflation. Inflation dominates the story. Inflation pretty much always dominates the monetary policy story. And I think something that we're going to be paying more and more attention to into year end as well is the unemployment side of things. Unemployment hasn't budged whatsoever. Unemployment's actually very, very strong. The employment, labor market is very strong. And this is probably a bit of a conundrum for the Fed as well. It's probably creating quite sticky inflation up here, which is sort of incentivizing them to push a little bit harder on the gas. A couple of months ago, 100 basis points would have been unheard of. Now we're looking at potentially 100 basis points rise this week. But part of my thinking behind that as well is that now that they've got the excuse of higher inflation, we're well above the 2% target range. They can push harder on the gas and get away from what's known as the zero lower bound, which is 0% rates, and that's where a lot of unproductive activity occurs. It's why at 0% rates you see like Nikola getting funded and stuff like that. Totally fraudulent company where they've pushed a fucking lorry down a hill and called it a prototype. Do you know what I mean? They really want to try and normalize to the historical baseline interest rates as much as possible. So I don't know whether that is actually factored into many views at all. Now, I think you might have just seen the chart of the US 10-year that I had up with Goldman's piece. I got a piece from Goldman that I received and thought this was interesting because I missed it actually last week. So what they're saying is that the moving peak 10-year US Treasury rate to 4%. That's what they're moving their target to. Year-end 2022 to 3.75%. In a recent report, we revised our interest rate forecasts across G10 higher. For the US, we are now projecting benchmark 10-year yields to end this year at 3.75%, up from 3.3%, and next year at 4%. So the one thing that I'll say about this, right, is you've got Goldman Sachs saying this, massive research house, really do put out some quality stuff. But the thing is that I would ask, what gave them that initial 3% target? What in their model gave them that? Because they're revising it up now by 45 basis points, okay, from 3.3% to 3.75% for the year-end target. Who's to say that this new revision isn't undercutting by, I don't know, 40, 50 basis points? Do you see what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, who's to say that the actual year end might be, it wouldn't be 4.2%, 4.25%, 4.3%. There's something just there that makes me feel like they're slightly undershooting their target, considering their initial target was way, way lower. Do you see what I mean? So this is basically where they're expecting the 10-year yield to end up year end. 3.75%, which is here, and then 4%, which is up here, which I think would mean that the dollar has to go way higher. And I think, by looking at this, it sort of fits in with the initial, things I was saying about where the interest rate is looking to go. And in terms of Bitcoin, that's not good. It's not, a good sign for Bitcoin, because what you're seeing then is just a sheer reduction in liquidity even further. And again, this isn't even with, taking into account quantitative tightening and things like that, which actually hasn't even kicked off properly yet. I think it started on the 15th. And, who's to say that that's not really going to cause a big liquidity event? I don't know, but there's a lot of things going on globally at the moment as well that is tricky naturally. Energy crisis. We've got illiquidity across all markets pretty much. If we take a look at the CME liquidity tool, we can have a look at the ES and see how, quite frankly, illiquid it is right now. So if we get the book depth up, and we go to, let's take it back 2 years, so we can do a 2-year look back. Go to 2020, we'll have to put this to September 19th, and then the date range is September 19th to now, basically. So you can see here that at the peak last year, this time last year, it was maybe like 3 times, well, the book was about 3 times deeper than it is now. Okay, and that's in the ES. More worryingly is what's going on in treasuries, and we can use this as a proxy because obviously treasury futures aren't going to be like, the same depth as cash, but you can kind of see this as well. So this is also interesting. So you can see how thick the book has been, pretty consistently throughout this period, but now we're getting consistently really, really thin books in treasuries. So it's not looking good, and naturally you can see the price there. So the big question here for treasury specifically is, at what yield are they going to become attractive again? And I think that question is more related to when does inflation start coming down to make bonds attractive again? So I think this is the fight that the Fed has on their hands, and Bank of America has actually proposed, because of how bad this liquidity is, that effectively a government market maker comes in to provide liquidity to the treasury market. They don't stay within, narrow bid offer ranges, so they're not competing on spreads or anything. But if market makers do step out, then they will be there to make the market, basically. That's how bad this has got. So I think they also warned that it could be a worse event than 2008, and that's just fucking probably a bit doom mongery, whatever you want to call it. But the potential for all of this kind of shit coming together is definitely there. And then obviously in the back of all of that, we've got things like China, we've got things like the Taiwan threat. Russia still is a threat. There's a lot of stuff on the media right now saying that the Ukraine's pushed Russia back and all of this stuff, but you just don't really know what could happen with these things. What if Putin just decides to go and say, oh, okay, I want to take over Kiev now, but by flattening it with a nuclear bomb. Do you see what I mean? All of these things are very, very possible in this kind of left tail environment where things could go bad very, very quickly. And I think these kind of geopolitical things now are definitely little things to pay attention to. On top of all of that, we've got Germany as well. So the German situation isn't looking fantastic. I think there's a lot of stuff coming out of there which is not very beneficial for the future of the EU. I do think that there are some issues that are going to have to be contended with there in Europe, because De Guindos, who's part of the ECB, he said today that there shouldn't be any more EU whatever it takes. Now, this is again a component of liquidity. You know, if EU governments aren't going to be able to, effectively fiscally liquefy their economies again under times of stress, because the EU wants austerity, perhaps because they want to make Germany a little bit happier, whatever. Then again, that's a drag on liquidity out of Europe, and who knows whether the ECB could backstop it again. You know, so there's all of these different little components that are coming up. But I think in the shorter term, you know, we're looking here now. This looks like a really, really super thin move here on Bitcoin. You know, we've literally just touched into a very obvious key level, and orders have just been hit there, and we've just come straight back down. But I do actually think we'll push up higher here. I think we'll get back up to, you know, roughly around here. It's quite flat up here. There's probably some people that have been selling 20k odd. So for me, probably trade down here, up there, something like that, and take up there. But you know, in a market like this, all I'd be looking to do is probably have pretty wide stops, and selling highs as much as possible, pretty much. So I think in terms of that, Saeed, those are the key points that I really wanted to nail.
Thank you very much. I think everybody's surprised. Everybody's surprised today.
Now watch it fucking nuke now. He's gonna nuke.
I don't think market hasn't priced it in your speech. But so thank you very much for coming on. Before we go, do you want to share where, for the people that are new? I mean, you're a regular here anyway, but there's always new people joining. What you're about? You want to show your website and what do you offer to help with these kind of situations? Because I subscribe myself, but just to, you know, for those that are new, where can they contact you?
Yeah, no, sweet. Yeah, you can jump onto Macrodisiac.com. We've got a Discord of about 700 or 800 people in there. It's paid, but also there's articles and things like that. But I think the net benefit is that everyone in there is very much focused towards, you know, looking at these broader events, putting forward their viewpoints and getting feedback on it. And it's about 250 quid forever, so it's not ripping the arse out of anyone. We do that just to avoid crazy idiots from just joining and talking shite, to be honest. So yeah, jump onto Macrodisiac if you want it. I'll send SZ a link.
Thank you very much, David. Definitely gonna have you on soon. Let's see how things unfold. Everybody, give David Bell a follow. His handles in the title of the video. David, I'll catch you soon, mate. Take care.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot for having me. Cheers, guys.
Well, that was David Bell there. Big thanks to him. Sorry about the noise. That was my fire alarm. As you know, we still carry on, even if there is a fire. It wasn't. I think it was just a test. I didn't know they were coming today. Thought the Queen shit. But anyway, let's carry on. What's going on? So I took a stop out on my one. But I think maybe I was a bit early, or I didn't get to cut. But what do we do next is the question. Okay, what are my plans for Bitcoin? So I'm gonna go to a clean chart. This was last week's chart. Do you want to do? I'll start the chart from fresh, because it's more focused towards the upside there, but it's still the same levels. But let's start from fresh so we get a bigger picture. Okay. So yes, give David Bell a follow. You know, he shares a lot of alpha. He's one of my go-to guys for, you know, FA and more a long-term view, not just short-term, but a long-term view of what's happening. And he's got a lot of experience, especially he worked as a broker and traditional markets, knows his shit. Okay, let's continue. So, bigger picture view. I've always got these levels marked out. I did snippet videos of them. Okay, so if we go, so we'll start off with these. What are these levels and the significance of them? So the significance of them is, it's actually fire alarm was testing liquidity. The significance of them for me would be these, and I'm going to repeat what I said last time. We got the previous all-time high here, but the initial high made was here. Okay, you can see how key that was. There's a little deviation, pullback, and then after it deviated above that, sell off. Nearly a retest, close enough. Sell off. Go to the left, right. Sorry. So see, this is like a key zone now. Okay, well further proves that point. Okay, so it's going to be a bit of a repeat, but I planned. I just trade the chart. You can see how key was here, and then when it deviated, pushed up, support, and once it broke this zone, then we got the parabolic move. Okay, so I would want to show, based on historical price action, I'd want to show the underside of here, and this is still technically a buy zone. Whether it's short term or long term matters not to me. Okay, you can see the significance of that, and again here. Okay, so we're down here. Get the likes going. There's about nearly 1,000 of you here, and only 258 likes. Get the YouTube likes going. So we came here initially. We had bounced. We bounced again. That was that one long we took. Bounced. I got stopped out on here. I got trailed out on my positions last week, so that was the profit I locked in. Okay, and then here. Okay, so far it's come down to that area again. It's sort of swung fail this. Okay, now whether it's got momentum to go higher or not, we'll have to see. We got the FOMC this week, but so far it's a stop run. Okay, and for now it's still a range, isn't it? If we can look at two types of ranges here, we can look at the short term, as this is a short term range high. We look at the more extreme end there. But let's focus on the short term. The short term, this is still the range, isn't it? This is still the range we are working within until proven otherwise. Before I continue, does that make sense so far? Doesn't matter if it's tested other times. It doesn't have to go your way straight away. Okay, it can still bounce. You can still do something like this and then do that. You can still do this and then do that. It doesn't matter. You can trade the immediate price action. Okay? You with me so far? Does it make sense before I continue? Okay, so for me, I've got to still follow what the chart is telling me, but then I've got to build the case for it. Okay, so for me, this is still the range. Okay, so let's continue now, and we're going to mark them up. Okay, we're going to mark them up on a clean chart now. So remember that. So I'm not going to draw in the other levels, but what I am going to draw are my ranges now here short term. So all I need to focus on is the immediate price action now. Oh, one more thing. If I did want to short, okay, I mean, if I am macro bearish, doesn't mean I'm going to short it on the spot the moment I say I'm macro bearish. Okay, you got to see where the market is at. So for me, if this was a 5-minute chart, I personally would feel comfortable shorting here. Where would I want to short? Maybe on the minimum would be as like a deviation, get back below. Then I feel comfortable shorting that towards the range lows. Okay, or like I explained, the underside of this zone here. So if I was to do this and then break back down, retest, then I'd short that. Then I'm happy to short it towards this here. Okay, but till then, I don't want to short support. These little movements are still little movements. What do stop at is fine. But I'm looking for the big swing play. This is not a big swing play for me within here. Either there or deviation. It could go higher, I don't know. There's no reason why you can't jump. Okay? For whatever reason you've got in your head. I mean, your 2-month experience trading does not mean fuck all. Okay? So, no disrespect for people that trade 2 months and talking like they know what they're doing. But that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you get my point. So keep that in mind. I'm happily ready short. I'll clean break down below here. Or some sort of rally up, whether it's a deviation. Play towards, level to level. Target 1, target 2. Okay? Or even if it goes higher, we'll see how high it goes. I don't know. Okay? Hello Chase, how are you? I don't know how high it's going to go, but I'll deviate and then I'll step in. I don't need to worry about that just yet. Let's just worry about what's happening within this consolidation. Okay, let's move forward now. Move forward, what do we have? I mean, this could still be continue going lower. And if it does continue going lower, I'll still play what I just mentioned. Okay, so let's mark our ranges out. So our ranges are going to be, I'll just box them out really. That's all that really matters. Around here. Okay, there. That's my range low, as you can see. Okay, that's like we can call that deviation, sort of. Oopsie daisy, wrong color. Let's sort of call that deviation. Okay. support, support, support. Same thing again. I just gotta play the chart until proven otherwise. Now, at this point, you could argue, you could argue as well as too many touches. Okay, and I want to see more confirmation. Okay, we can do that. First and foremost, let's mark out our range high, and I'm gonna go with a conservative range high of. I'm gonna go with a conservative range high here, down here. Okay, I like to go with more conservative targets. Why this? Well, it's quite obvious, isn't it? There, with that bit of girth. Okay, there, because you can see when it first bounced, that was the resistance. You can see even here the congestion there, and when it deviated, resistance, deviation, resistance, resistance, support, deviation, resistance, resistance, blah blah, deviation, down. And that's why I got trailed out of the remainder. So I locked in all of this move, and I gave back a bit of this, but that's my trend continuation system, where I compound until I'm trailed out or I have a good reason to close. Because till then, I still thought, okay, maybe towards here. Now, what do we do here now is the question. Well, still, it remains, if I want to deal within this range, okay, well, I can choose a mid-range, can't I? And my mid-range I'm going to use is going to be a level that's is like gets tagged a lot. Okay, and I like this probably around this region here. I like. Okay, it's more or less mid-range. Here, see that there? Why that? We got the support. See that there? Congestion there. Once it deviates, you see the resistance, resistance, resistance. So where's the immediate stops going to be resting? Probably towards here, aren't they? Weekend highs. If it's going to push up. Okay, if it's going to push up. So I would say possibly an invalidation is in. But that doesn't mean my trigger is in yet. Okay? One way would have been, I did mention in the snippet video, if I wanted to just go in and I didn't have time to sit on my charts and I thought, okay, maybe a good chance of going towards, at least towards here. At least towards here. What's going on? Towards here, and then there would be, well, a hard invalidation level there. Now, not many people can play positions like that. More of a swing position. If they had a thesis that it was going to go, because if this was going to go, then I would have to cut it or get stopped out and trail. Hello CG143. Hello Trader NJ. Baza, Bitbeast. How is everybody? Towards there, okay? So that's one way. I'm not going to say do it, but I'm just saying that would be complete invalidation if I didn't want to get a little chopped up on the little moves. But I'm not really interested in that personally because I can't see at the chart trade. But okay, that's that. And then the extreme end would be clearly towards here. Okay, that's the extreme end. Not even going for the extreme end. The all time, well, the high of in its consolidation. Just going. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Just going towards this here. So what I've done is, in essence, is broken this entire range down. So that's the entire range. Okay. And then we're focused on this point. So now we've got this. And we've got this. If it smashes above here, then we've got this. Okay, so now I know what I'm dealing with it. Now, if I don't like to trade this part, okay, so the conservative traders, maybe something like this. If it reclaimed and holds, just like previously here, then that would be my long. Target 1. Target 2, obviously. And then towards the extreme end. I don't even have to go for that. Just go for where the high probability plays are. Okay? What's your age? I'm old enough to be a dad. So, continuing on. What does my age matter? What's that got to do with Bitcoin? Anyway, let's carry on. So, let's now focus on, this is before the bearish. Obviously, and then the breakdown from here would be obviously, if say my targets here, sorry, 1 second, let me get the target mentioned. I'll go for the bearish scenarios in a bit, okay? We'll just, because I'm gonna roll right now. So, this is where I'm gonna look for, okay, you know what? I want some confirmation. Say I wasn't already in. Okay, I don't get it. Why he has to give me my age for? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Moment of silence. Can everybody have a moment of silence for the guy? Let's give him a 3-second moment of silence. 3, 2, 1. Let's carry on. Okay, so it was needed. Let's break this up now. and say, okay, let's go with the conservative place. And say, okay, where's the weekend highs at? These are the weekend highs. They're very clean. Like David mentioned, I agree with him. Very, very clean. So, a couple of scenarios. One is a pullback scenario. Okay? A pullback scenario would be something like this. I don't know, I like this region here. I mean, this was key support here. You can see why that. We have the support there. That's a bit of a deviation. Support, reclaim of the blue box. So scenario one would be if it was to come back down here. And again, I'm just focused on this range for now. If it was to come back down here, and then, you know, some sort of reclaim. And that's my long. Play it towards here. Maybe, you know, target 1, target 2 within this range. Okay? If it comes into your final resistance, I'd cut it. Scenario 2 is the trend continuation. Let me finish Bitcoin before you start asking. I'm going to go through it. I got ES chart there. So why? Let me finish this. Relax. So let me finish these, then I will get onto ES. I always do go onto ES in every single stream. So learn patience, my friend. Learn patience. Scenario 2, okay, is what if it's like this, where it pops up. So see this here. So if I was to make a line here, right? So around here, okay. Now fuck it, ignore that. See this here, like it doesn't completely. I mean, this part is quite thin, okay, but that's sort of balanced out, okay. So usually, I mean here, I mean it had a bit of a bull flag under this resistance, and then it blasted up, right? If it does that again, it could do. So what the case may be where we start to find a bit of a floor. We could be, I'm not saying it is a floor, but a bit of support short term. Then go to the lower time frame. I was like, okay, what if it creates a range? Okay. I mean, you could show the. I'm not going to be trading right now. I'm just going over my plans, but a bit of a support level there. Okay. Today's high of the day is there, by the way. So the stops intraday are going to be resting there. So maybe something like this happens where, I don't know, intraday we've got this high here, right? So if it doesn't give me the deep pullback scenario, intraday we've got those stops. It could be the case where we come down. I don't like that flat candle there. They usually get taken, but if it then for whatever reason reclaims and holds, then that could be my long. Target 1, target 2. That's intraday play. Now at this point, if it starts rejecting, cut it. Knowing full well that if it comes into your retests and holds, then that's my long. Smack out the weekend highs. And that's how I will play level to level. So 1, either get a deeper pullback. Okay. 2, this guy. 2 is the trend continuation. So what I've split it up into 3 trades. That's 1 trade. That's 2nd trade. And the breakout play for the 3rd one. Is that clear for everybody? Does that make sense? It's pulling back. It's new king. Get off the 1 minute chart. If you call that new king, you've probably been trading for 3 months. Is that called a nuke? Okay, is everybody clear? Okay, now, remember what I said? If you don't like, this is 1/2 of the market done. That's the 1/2 of the market, 1/2 of the range, sorry. Okay, again, remember it is FOMC. Now we will go over the bearish scenarios in a minute. Bear with me. One of them I've already been through. So for whatever reason we can't tackle this, or you don't like this area, okay? I mean, I personally prefer like this to happen, and then reclaim something like that. Okay, that's my personal preference. Look for a trigger there. Secondly, would be okay. We play, or if you miss it or you want to get back in, I look for something like this. So that's 1/2 played, and this is why I can play a swing move, but again level to level. Okay, so for whatever reason does this and starts holding. That's the secondary idea towards their first target. Okay, target, and then start smashing. Then this would be really like that. Target, and why? This is a play within the range. Okay, I haven't forgotten about them. It's just that you can't. I just don't mention every single thing. I'm not gonna be holding your dick while you take a piss each time. Okay, that's done. So those are the upside ranges within the ranges where I support. Okay, now let's go to the downside plays. Now because it's a range support, and let me kind of see if ES is still. Hang on, let me have a look at ES. Okay, yeah, ES kind of finding support. I'm gonna go to ES in a minute to explain my thoughts on that. But the second part of the range would be below here. So where the next stop's gonna be resting downside target would be, well, this extreme end. Okay, this extreme end here. There. That's the extreme end. Let's do that in a different color. Let's save that. Okay, now with extreme end play, I mean, this is still support area. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna break this down and say, okay, at what point shouldn't we really start breaking down below? We should really be broken below here, in my opinion. Okay, because that's too low. Then that's more or less a breakdown of the range. Then, okay. So the extreme side for the short scenario will be, well, I'm targeting towards there next, right? So if it breaks down and starts finding resistance here this time, not a straight support reclaim, but it starts finding resistance, then I'll look for my short scenarios and then I'll play it towards here. Is that clear? And if it's really gonna go for it, if you come into here and start swing failing it, if it swing fails this, obviously you're going to cut the position. Otherwise, get ready for the targets mentioned within here, those lows there, and the breakout short scenario, which would be, like I mentioned here, start going for 12k then. More or less 12k in my opinion. That's game on then. And that's the breakout play of this region here, which is so pivotal. Clear? Now, don't just even warn them, just kick them out. If you don't like somebody's name, kick it out. If you don't like the way they speak, kick them out. You're going to have to find a good reason to keep them in. By default, kick them out. Couldn't give a fuck. Okay, done. Let's carry on now. ES. So I'm going to do ES. So with this at an extreme end, okay, actually F is at a key support as well. Now, whether it's a short-term bounce or not is yet to be known. But it's something to play out the volatility. Okay? What do I mean by that? Actually, let me just bring up F first and then I'll do ES. Give me a second. Let me find an F chart. I've got a couple of F charts here. I want to find a clean one. FUSD. Yeah, it is a clean one. Okay. Now, what I mean by that's why I posted the chart earlier. Okay, when it looks interesting, that's when I started to take along again and recoup the loss. It was a pretty clear area. We had FUSD at the same time, this time round, at the key, it's a key support. Now whether it's short-term bounce or not, it's like a key support region, isn't it? It's a retest of this. So, break below, okay, that whole thing's like a, okay, it's deviation or whatever. But that would open the gates towards here. These clean lows here then. Okay? There. But till then, that's still key support, isn't it? That's still considered key support. And if you think about it, okay? If you think about it, where was the key stops, in my opinion, resting? Okay? The key was here. So this swing leg here, because we broke out, that's the key low. And then we can consider this as well. That was the key low. All these lows here are within this leg. Okay, so these hadn't been tested. This time round, they were rightly key support. Right when Bitcoin was at its extreme end of the range. Okay, and when I go to ES, you'll understand then as well, where that's the confluence with, and dollar index as well, which I will cover. But now is the time. Okay, this is still a range. Where is the range? So let's mark out the range. So that's key support for now. That's range low, short term. The other range high, I mean, I'd go for a more conservative one, but this here, that's a range high. Okay. Why there? We got support, resistance, deviation, close of resistance, deviation. And that's support. Okay. So now, quick question. The pivot was broken. No, I have a stop loss further away. and then I'll just cut it if it doesn't reject. Sometimes it can be a bit of a squeeze, but usually I always have a hard stop somewhere. But that's just my style. I use wider stops usually. So this level is key for me now. Okay, there. So short term, where would the stops be resting? It would be resting short term here. Okay, since that was taken, and then obviously there, and then to move towards the range highs. So what I would mention going for is, okay, where are my targets now? If it is going to be a move back within the range, we have to know where to get out as well. What if it's a short term bounce? I don't want to be holding on a position that's just short term. Okay. So here's another one. So see this here, see the key pivot here? This consolidation here. There we go. Why there? Well, you can see previously that was support. Support acted as a range low at the time. Or short term. Key pivot there. Support. Deviation. Support. Resistance area. So short term would be, well, if Bitcoin gives the trigger, may it consolidate, let it do its thing. If it reclaims, that's going to be my long. Just take out the stops, target 1. Stops will go break even. Now, whether it could do this, I don't know. I don't give a fuck either. But it's enough for me to take profit. If it starts to turn, I'll close the position. Or close most stops will break even. I'll then wait, because I would anticipate a move, and then I want to see what the Fed are doing as well. So I don't want to. I mean, until then, I'm happy to play to the range high until proven otherwise. But if it does that and it still wants to go up, and then once it reclaims, then that's another long. And that would be a play. Target 1 within the range. Go for short-term targets. Target 1. Target 2. And then we'll see possibly. Even here, I don't know. It doesn't have to, but that would be the extreme end for me. Maybe this consolidation here. So that consolidation wasn't tested, was it? So we got this region that hasn't been tested. And then it could nuke or whatever. I don't know. Take out these stops here. And they could do this. Because since that's a deviation range high, naturally, I would say, if it deviates, then we're going to have to play level to level back down. Target 1, target 2. If it smashes above and starts holding, well, most likely, we're probably going to go towards here then, aren't we? Okay, and that's completely acceptable. And to take out these stops here. Clean stops there. Okay, and then who knows? I mean, we can't really rule out something like this. Like, you know, previously it happened. Something like this happened previously, didn't it? So we see this here, consolidation here. So it seems similar, I think. So if I take this, right, and I take this, I'm gonna clean the chart up, right, and then we'll circle this area here. We'll circle this area here. So previously, it could easily do this, right? Retest this area that has been retested, just like here, and then do the nuke. That is also a possibility. To be prepared for them. Now, I don't care. I'll still play level to level, but this is a scenario that can easily unfold. Okay, so that's that part done. So that's the ranges. Now let's go on to the short-term scenario for this now. So short-term, I mean shorting scenarios. Well, I don't want to short this support area here, but I wish support become resistance. Okay. Yes, that's because you're not a trader. Then that's why you have to be prepared for all scenarios. Now get the fuck off the field. Too many scenarios. You have to be prepared. What if you take it a long and you go short? Oh God, this guy's stupid. First he asks my age, and then it's that. I think he's a fucking pedophile. Report him for sexual abuse. I don't like the guy. He sounds like a sexual pest. I don't know, man. That's not somebody I want in my area. Anyways, if it does something like this, and then starts breaking down. And that's a short. I'm gonna probably take off for these lows here then. Okay, so say if it gives me the trigger, and then it for some reason reclaims, then we get a deviation. That's just happened. Okay, so yeah, that's my shortest scenario towards there. Is everybody clear with that? And the target 1, and then the extreme end would be obviously target 2 there. Then we'll see what happens. Okay. I don't know. Some of these guys are weird. I mean, first he comes in asking my age. Like, that's a bit weird, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's just weird. And then he starts saying stuff like that. This guy's not here for trading. He's a sex predator. Fuck that shit. I'm not having that, man. Fuck that. My man probably stalks everything for doing that. I did this game, sexual harassment report. But anyways, done. Even Pradeep, He's deep in there as well. Fucking dickhead. Bro, let's go. Let's carry on. So that's that. Done. Okay. It's not me, man. I can duck whatever I want. What's your problem? Anyways, so that's that. The real ones knows who that is. I know he's looking for boys online, isn't it? Yeah, I think he's seen that picture, and that's it. He's been in my stream since then. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. He's seen the picture and he goes, "Fuck," jacked off like 5 times, and then says, "Yo, I'm jumping in the stream now. Let me ask him his age." It all adds up now, doesn't it? It all adds up. See how life works. All adds up now. So here we got a key pivot here. Okay, we got a key pivot here, but I'm gonna go with this one. I don't know why you guys are laughing here, but you know what? This guy's coming for you next as well. So don't be laughing. When he starts asking you your age in your DM, yeah, when he's got that weird smile, tilting his head from side to side, telling you what's going on. Yeah, you tell me if you're not fucking scared. And with a face like that, fuck that shit. Anyways, let's carry on. Let's not get distracted here. Let's go. We move forward. We're not backwards. We move forward. Okay. Now, this is key region here, I'd say. Okay. So, see, the thing is here, if I was to use this as support area, I don't know why you guys are laughing. I'm not finding this funny. I'm watching my back even now. I'm in my own place, but I'm still watching my back. So, let's carry on. I'm going for, so let's prepare for a breakdown scenario. Okay, let's get a breakdown scenario for this. I'm kind of distracted right now thinking about that. But let's go for the 2021 Open, because the next stops are going to be at that low there, aren't they? So I'm going to be prepared for that. Guys, stop asking me that question, man. If you ask me that question once more, you asked me that already and I ignored you, so stop asking me. So, okay, that's one scenario. That's one range. Okay, and the second range is if it breaks below here, because that's key support, probably get a bounce off there. After the bounce and break below. Okay, ban him. There we go. Okay, that's probably him. That's his alt account. That's the fucking dickhead alt account reporting for sexual abuse as well. So that's your shorting opportunity, and then there. At that point, I don't know what happens. Okay, I probably don't know what happens. At that point, I mean, could this be a bottom? I mean, we can't say no, can we? I don't know, but at that point, I'll see how low it goes. But I'm just gonna deal with that. All I know is these are my levels. So in essence, what I've done is I've broken the whole leg down: range, level to level, range, level to level, range, level to level, and the final level to level range. Now maybe there's this, and then reclaims, and then who knows? Moon mission, who knows? But yeah, I know it's proper inbred, isn't it? So yeah, that's that done. After that, I'm gonna have to see. I don't like to pretend I know exactly what's gonna happen. Nobody really knows. I'll take it one step at a time. Okay. So that's that there. We're just gonna have to see how bad shit it's the fun. It's Castillo. Oof, Castillo. Fucking hell. Come on, get the likes up, man. 963 of you here. Be a pedophile, man. Okay, that's done. Okay, let's carry on now. So ES now. So the third confluence for a possible bounce. Not saying is XRP moving. You know what? Son of a bitch has been strong. I'll cover that in the alt stream. I'll do the alt stream this week. I haven't done it in a while. Oh my god. You know what? XRP made back my money this weekend. I made a lot of money on XRP. Was expecting it, but yeah, I'll cover XRP in the stream. Okay. This is just Bitcoin and Ethereum. The alt one, XRP will be one of them. Okay, and again, by then we'll have a clearer picture, won't we? Maybe after FOMC. So shall we say Friday, something like that? After FOMC, we'll do a XRP alts review. Okay. So let's do ES now. So before we continue, does that make sense? I mean, I don't know if so I'm not gonna say that. I mean, I'm just money margin trading, but I don't know what could happen. We're gonna have to deal with it at the time. But so far, are the trigger plans clear? Why I'm looking for those? Maybe XRP triggers the next bull run. Maybe XRP. Maybe Uncle Brad does his magic. Who knows? Who knows? But does that make sense so far? Is everybody clear? What I'm looking for longs, and shorts. We don't discriminate, okay? And both sides. Okay, done. Let's move on to ES now. ES. Now, ES is an interesting thing as well. So, if you're looking at ES on the weekly chart, now ES did not drop as much, okay? So, see, there's levels of convictions. For example, say, let me go back to Bitcoin. There's one thing, right? Me anticipating a higher low based on, okay, I had good reason, okay? Consolidation. And this was, if this setup happened again, and I had the same trigger plan, I would take it again. Because you can find examples where this has worked. I don't anticipate higher low because these stops will run, but maybe they just wanted one more run. Sometimes when they get a fast reversal, they do it. Okay? But I would assume this was a high low, hence why I took that. Now, at this point, so here is not an extreme end. It's a high low possibility. This is an extreme end scenario. If it's still going lower, then it's really going to go for it. Or maybe a swing failure of this. But yeah. So at once we had this time when F hit it and Bitcoin hit it. That was it. And then when we get the ES involved, right? If I look at ES, what is the range for ES? Okay, I mean, okay, bigger picture. I mean, what if it's the case where, I mean, if we look at it, this is the key support area, really. I mean, there's different levels. I do use 2021 low, etc., etc. But sometimes I look at it from a natural SR point of view. Okay, so what we had here was consolidation, retest, and push up. Okay, and then this low, the support level here was able to send it above towards there. Now, could it be the case where we maintain a range and then break down or break up, possibly? Or is this the low here for a short term move up and then just fiddles around? I don't care about any of that now, because now that I can find cases for both. What do I do in that case? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out more of a short term range, play that, and then see if it breaks out or not. That's how I approach it. So all I can say to you right now is, just from like a context, bringing in a bit of context in, this is some key support, okay? Key, SR. Then we've got this consolidation. Now, the consolidation doesn't necessarily have to take off at the top of it, which it did here. I can squeeze a bit here, but then the second one worked out nicely. It could come a bit lower as well. It could even swing fail this, okay? So, what do I do then? Will I have my boundary where, what would tell me the low is in? Okay? So, I go to the weekly. So, I know that's what I can take from that right now. I go to the weekly and say, okay, what's been capping the market right now? It's been this, hasn't it? And this is where you remove, you increase the odds. So when I'm trying to increase the odds, yes, I've heard everybody XRP, and I know you want to have your little say on XRP, just like everybody else has. Yes, I am aware. I am aware XRP is moving, but I'm looking at this right now. If you want to trade XRP, go trade it. You have my blessing. But let me focus on this. Thank you. So we've got this here. Range low, range high, because this is the weekly candle that we've been stuck within. Okay, that's what we've been really doing, haven't we? We deviate it, we get back within the range. So far, it could be a deviation. I haven't really broken out of it. I mean, it's broken out, but it's not really moving much. Okay, so probability wise, if it flips back within it, would you agree we'd expect some sort of mean reversion? Yep, a movement below a range low would expect some mean reversion. So I get this, I mark on my midpoint. 3988.25. 3988.25. Okay. 8.25. And we do this. Now, what stops have been taken short term? Previous week's low. There. So where the stops resting extreme end, this would be the extreme end, but it doesn't have to necessarily get there. Okay. It is getting compressed for a big move. So what we do is say the line. Quickly say the line, somebody. If this reclaims back within the range, then what do you think that means for Bitcoin? So this is an extreme end as well, because if it starts breaking below here, then we're gonna have trouble, aren't we? Towards range lows. Look where Bitcoin is at. Look where F is at. Look where this is at now. Again, the confirmation is not yet. Okay, hence why I'm waiting. Now, if this gets back within the range, okay, and holds, then you automatically get an invalidation or I mean, if you took it here, that's different, okay? But we're at sort of resistance right now, technically. But if you have a belief that's going to go up and you don't want to miss out, well, just cut to the clean break below here. Even if you enter here, because technically you're entering based on violation. Okay, this is where some people are not comfortable with. Okay, but it is entry based on invalidation. But if it reclaims and holds, then look at those juicy stops here. Very, very nice, clean highs here. And that would sort of, if this reclaims and then you get Bitcoin doing the same thing, you now have your confluence. Now, you don't have to go to extreme end, but here's fine. If it starts to turn, cut it or take some profits. Stops at break even. You then wait. Okay, usually we get some sort of reaction profit taking. If it then reclaims back above here, then you get another deviation of the mid range, and that's your long. Target 1, main target, stops flat. Possibly target 2. Why? Because the pattern has been taking highs and lows each week, and then we don't know. Now, if it does go below, where are the next objectives? We're more or less towards here, really, aren't they? So yeah, if it does break down, I don't know, maybe it does this. So it's holding below, but that's too much of a deviation. That's no longer deviation, it's a breakdown then. That's my shorting, smack these lows there. And then we'll worry about the rest after FOMC or for the next stream. Because then we start really going for it. I don't know what's going to happen in the news, but how the market's going to react to it, we'll have to see. But again, the way this is looking, it's not looking too bad just yet. And I am bearish bigger picture. Okay, don't forget I've been riding these fucking legs down. And I've also ridden the legs up as well. Remember when I caught the low here? You guys were live with you guys. I did it live. I saw this was the low I was looking to buy. We then come towards here then. Because then that becomes our area for a possible. I'm not saying a bottom. But it's an interesting area this would be. This would not be so see, if I take this area here, it's not only the 50%, okay, of the move up, okay, but it's also the consolidation post previous all-time high. So this consolidation here lines up with this here. So the consolidation here was the accumulation that led to the parabolic move up. So we could be the case where it does this and then does this. There's no reason why we can't do that. Okay, take out this. You gotta remember, there's nothing is impossible in the market. And then do that. There's no reason why that can't happen. So again, I don't care. All I know is this is a key region. I'm playing my levels until I swing trade. It's very, very obvious to me. Anyway, that was just for confidence purposes. And finally, dollar index. Now, I still got the dollar index chart from last time, if I believe. So if I go to this, and I'll give my reasons for it. Dollar index on its own merit would be a range play. Look at that. Look at this fucking chart go. Look at that. Look at that Viagra candle. What's Brad doing? What is Brad up to? He's looking to market dump on all of you, like me. Probably is. Okay. So, go to dollar index. The dollar index, like I've discussed previously, is at a key pivotal point. So again, I think the FOMC will probably be the decider. Now, we discussed these levels before last stream, so I'm not going to repeat how I got them. If you want to find out what these levels are, bam, get it to 500 likes before the end of the stream. It's 856 of you, stingy fuckers. I know half of you guys are like the trolls on my feed, but you still can't help yourselves tune into my streams. I know you, don't lie. You're watching this, you're hearing this right now, you're laughing. I know you are. You still tune into my streams. You're still tuning into my streams. I know you do. You can't help yourself, that's why. Or it's either that or your girl makes you tune in because, yo, I don't give a fuck, you pussy. Your girl still listens in. So, this is extreme point because once we broke out of this consolidation, that high led to that big sell-off, okay? And naturally, we'd anticipate a reaction here, okay? Now, if it makes a clean reclaim and hold above here, then most likely we're going towards there, okay? There. Now, till then, there's still resistance areas. I mean, even if it is going to go up, it's not going to be a straight line up, okay? It's not a one-way thing. I still believe it goes up, but it's not going to be one way. So, like I said, I'm going to treat it as a range, okay? I'm going to treat it as a range. And let's make it simplified. I think as long as it doesn't make a clean break above this high, I think we come back within the range. I'm not saying bearish, I'm saying a range play. Now, if you can't understand, you got hearing problems, switch off. Because when I say range play, you come out saying it's fucking, you just said this. No, I didn't. Shush. Go stand in the corner, face the wall. And then I'll treat that as my range high. And I'll treat these as deviations. Okay? It is acceptable. Worst case scenario, it is acceptable for this as a range play. Because the clean break above here is a reclaim of that key SR level I mentioned. So scenario 1 is rally up, then deviate, and then that would mean a playback within the range. That's a short. I'm not shorting this. I belong in the euro, but just the dollar index. Target 1, target 2, and then we'll see. Does it do this, or does it continue lower? I don't know. I don't give a fuck either. Scenario 2 is this could be the top. So what I do is I'll wait. I mean, one is, say if I was shorting this, just for example's sake. If it doesn't swing fair list, I'll cut it. So play a stop loss a bit higher, I'll cut it. Okay. Secondly, is this is a key support area. See how there? This could also be seen as a deviation then. Alright? Because that on the left is resistance as well. So, a clean break below and hold. Technically, if this is a short trigger, that's a long trigger on the euro. Target 1, target 2. So you're prepared now. If it rallies up, you know where the boundaries are to start flipping, and then there's a lot higher. Or one should cap it, or trend continuation. And that is it. So this is right now at an extreme end technically as well. So just to add another piece to the jigsaw. Is everybody clear with the plan, and does that make sense? We've been going on long enough now. Okay. Okay, thank you for tuning in. We'll see how the next, we'll see how the week unfolds. We should have a clearer picture by next week. Like the video, please share it. Big thanks to our partners, Prime XPT, for making it happen. If you do like these streams, if you find value, consider using the link in the description. It supports the streams, okay? Sign up with that. Use trader code 1Z, remember that. But use that after you make the, you use that first, then make deposits if you wish to use them. I'll catch you guys next week. Bye-bye.